Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. You have to excuse the banging, but neighbours over the other side of the hedge are having a summer house built. This banging and drilling and noise this is the third day now, and it goes on all day, but it's men at work. You know, they're doing a job at the end of the day, so you can't really complain about that sort of noise. I've been trying to wait I thought they'd have a coffee break or something this afternoon, but they don't seem to want to stop. So this is only going to be a short video anyway. It's just, well, I've just sort of realised that it's virtually the end of June. And what comes next? Well, it's called July, isn't it? Which means the project orchids come round again if I'm going to carry on with the 2 monthly interval. Now, I could switch it to 3, in which case there'd only be 2 updates left, or stick to 2. Given that there's a greatly reduced number of plants in the project orchids this year, I think it might be worth carrying on with 2 monthly intervals. There's not that many plants to do. It's only effectively there's only 3 groups. So I think update 2 for those 3 groups. What is it now? Wednesday? I'll probably start at the beginning of next week. It's effectively it's only 3 videos. I can do them a week apart. There's still an awful lot of people say they really enjoy the Project Orchids. The number of views on the Project Orchids videos doesn't actually reflect that, which means there's some people who don't find the Project Orchids that interesting, but enough do to make it worthwhile. That's the way I look at it. I can't expect every video to get the high number of views. Some of them are bound to appeal to less people. Talking of which, thanks for everybody who's gone over to the old bonsai channel. I hit the 700 subscribers yesterday, which means there's only 300 to go for that target 1,000. So you know, if you haven't popped across to the bonsai channel, the link's in the description. It would be greatly appreciated if you could just pop across and subscribe, just to get those numbers up. As I said, even if you haven't got an interest in bonsai, you can subscribe to it, just don't set notifications, then you won't get pestered. But yeah, that's coming along quite nicely now. I did quite an interesting video yesterday on that channel, if you want to pop up across and see. I had a look at a particular bonsai style by doing a search on the internet and getting some pictures up on the computer, which I filmed. And then basically I got the walking boots on and went out into the field to try and find some trees that looked like those images. The view being that they would be collected, you know, early next year at the right time for lifting plants, basically. So yeah, I mean it's most of it is an outdoor video, having a walk around, having a look for trees suitable to collect, if you're interested in that sort of thing. Anyway, Project Orchids to come. I've still got repotting to do, which is, well, I will get onto it, but it's one of those things, I don't want to do it. I find it tedious, but it's still got to be done, and there are still some on the list. None of them are going to die if they don't get done in the next week or 2, so I will get round to them, but it's a matter of getting in the mood, really, and I'll batch them up and do them several at a time. That's the easy way. The Dendrobium Friedrichseanum is now looking more like its star performance. Well, this bit of it is anyway. Now that the rest of these buds have come out, you see the difference in the colour between a newly opened bloom and one that's been open a while. The depth of the colour in those that have been open a while is much better, much better. But what does change is the initial colour in the lip has a greeny tinge, and that sort of fades to a deeper yellow. It sort of loses its green tinge, but the slightly faded colour is a much richer colour, so that's actually quite nice. Right, we've got a new kid on the block. opened or started to open this morning. Now this is a first time bloomer. This is one of Jeff's plants that was picked purely because it looked a reasonably healthy plant, and a lot of his plants didn't look very healthy. It's in cyclia lancifolia. Now although that's classed as encyclia, that's possibly been reclassified as prosthetia, or protetia, however you want to say it, because basically it is one of the upside down orchids, you know, and I don't know how close I'm going to be able to get, but these blooms are not very big. They're not going to get any bigger, and that's as they are. So as I said, I picked this out because the plant looked okay, rather than knowing what the blooms were going to be like. This is not going to go up to my most favourite bloom. A lot of it is because there are blooms exactly the same colours and patterns that are 3 times as big, and therefore much easier to view. But nonetheless, we've got it to bloom, and it's bloomed on very small pseudobulbs. The latest 2 growths are less than half the size of previous growths. So it's not growing as well as it should, and nowhere near as well as it should. So we'll have to see what it does next after blooming. Could get even worse. Anyway, I'll see how close I can get in. If I do my spot trick with the lens, we'll see how close we can get so that you can see the patterning. It is attractive, but as I said, there are plenty of other blooms with the same style, same upside down look, same patterning on the lip, that are actually an awful lot bigger, and a lot of them are quite fragrant as well. So anyway, new kid on the block. It's another one that I've got to bloom that hadn't before, which is, it's always a bonus when you get something to bloom for the first time. So that can go over with the open stuff. And yeah, I think my my Victoria Regina has finally finished. I think that's the last bloom, last one to go. And then I'll be looking for possible new growths. I do have a new growth at the base, but it's not actually at the base of the plant. It's about 1 inch from the bottom. And the last new growth I had, the kiki here, actually hasn't produced any roots at all. So we got a new, see, now that could be a kiki as well, or it could be a few more blooms. Difficult to tell. Yes, so I'll get on with the project orchids starting next week, and I like doing the project orchids. The new style for the project orchids, for me, it is well worth doing, because it's a matter of getting the previous video out, which has already got its soundtrack, it's ready to go, just sticking it on the end of an introduction, and then refilming those 3 plants in that group. Okay, I've got to set the black cloth up and everything, but it doesn't take long. And yeah, I mean, I think it's quite good to monitor the progress of a specific set of plants. I can't do it for every plant in the grow room. It's not possible. There's 170 odd orchids in here, and to monitor the progress of every one, the videos are either going to be 4 hours long, or there's just going to be so many of them there won't be any variety on the channel left. So anyway, short video today. Now I'm going to go back and watch a bit of tennis, as we only get the good tennis once a year, and I quite enjoy watching it. So we'll have a flake out in the chair and watch some tennis, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.